back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in again. My name is Gault. I am the author of My Journey to the Fountain of Youth, which is a book that has a lot of great tips on how to look and feel as young as possible, and you can get it on Amazon.com. I even have the link below in the description that you can click on and you can purchase that book. It will give you a lot of great tips. And today we're going to go over what I call the 3 macro exercises that everyone should do in order to stay fit and young the rest of their life. And these 3 macro exercises are what we should be doing every week. So I'm going to get right to it. So let's just do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the 3 basic macro exercises, so you'll know what they are and why they're so important that we do them every week. We don't have to do all 3 of them every day, but we have to make sure that we get a combination of them every week. And if you stay till the end of this video, I'll let you know what I do, how I do incorporate these 3 macro exercises in my week, and so you get a good idea on how to actually work it so that you're getting the best benefit of working your muscles and everything and keeping as healthy as possible. So let's get to exercise number 1. Okay, so macro exercise number 1 is some sort of resistance training, and we all need to do it, and especially as we get older. Our muscles atrophy as we get older, and our muscles are what actually propels us. So if we want to pick up anything or walk anywhere or be able to get out of a chair without struggling, or getting out of the car without having a hard time, we need to work our muscles. And I know a lot of people tend to forget this. They tend to do cardio or they might walk, but you're really not getting resistance training in doing that, and so you're not building up your muscles, which you need to do. So there's different ways to do it. So there's different types of exercises that fall underneath resistance training. I like weightlifting myself. I actually don't use the full bar like that. I use dumbbells. It's a little easier for me. There was also, you could do the bands. The bands are just very popular for people. It's great that way. You could bring a whole gym in a little bag. You can have different bands for different exercises, because different bands would be thicker, and that means that they give more resistance. But you could do just about everything you can do with dumbbells with bands. So if you don't have the ability to have dumbbells in your house, think about getting some bands, and here's some right here. Okay, the last one is if you don't have anything in your house and you're saying, okay, well, I don't have any equipment, I can't exercise. Another great way to get resistance exercise is to use your body. So as you can see here, the young lady here is actually doing push-ups. I mean, that is a great way. It's just like doing a chest press when you're using weights, except you're using your body weight. And there's just a lot of exercises where you can do that. You can do squats without having any weights at all, and believe me, you're going to feel it and you're going to get the benefit from it. So if you don't have any equipment, there's no excuse not to get in some resistance training. So I would recommend doing what you can to get it in. Okay, so now we're going to move on to macro exercise type number 2. Okay, it's all great to build up our muscles. We really need to do that. It is very important. The second thing, or another macro exercise that we need to do and not forget about, is cardio. So you can do cardio in a million different ways. Well, maybe not a million, but you get my point. There's a lot of ways that you can do cardio. I prefer to run outside. I love being outside. And so I love to run. You can walk, but when you do walk, if you're going to walk for your cardio, you need to walk vigorously. So you need to make sure that you're getting your heart rate up, because cardio is all about getting the heart rate up and getting the blood moving and working your heart and working your lungs. Because the resistance is going to work your muscles and get that strong, but you also need to have a strong heart and you need to have strong lungs, and that's what cardio is going to do. So you need to get your heart beating, because that's also going to get oxygen in your body, and it's going to move that oxygen to your cells, every cell in your body, and it's just going to bring nourishment and oxygen, and it's going to help it grow, and you're just going to be strong all around by doing cardio exercises. Another one, if you don't like running or fitness walking, you can always cycle. I do bike a little bit. I like to do it outside, but there's all sorts of spinning classes and stuff that you can do inside, or just a stationary bike if you can't get outside. I know sometimes some of us live in areas where the weather can just get really, really bad. So there's always options to actually cycle inside too. So that's a great way to go. Another one is, which I've been doing a little bit of, is HIIT. And HIIT it's different names for it. It's interval training, HIIT, plyometrics. It's basically jump training. So, and I'm going to show you a little bit right here. So you can see where HIIT can really come in and really get the heart going, but it does it with intervals. So it's just a fantastic way of really getting cardio in, and also building the muscle as well. So I highly recommend it for everybody. And now we're going to go on to macro exercise type number 3. Okay, so this is one that a lot of people forget to do. They might go running, they might work out, but they forget to stretch. And why do we stretch? It's because we don't want to end up like this, walking around where we can't stand up straight with good posture. We're bent over, we can't move our arms or our legs because they're so tight. So we cannot forget stretching. There's different ways to do it. Yoga is a great way to get stretching in. You can either do it by tape. There's a lot of great videos on YouTube, or you can go to a class. If you're going to do it for the first time, going to a class is fantastic because you have a trainer there that can actually teach you how to do the moves correctly. It is a little tough. I have a video on yoga. You can take a look at it. And I'm not good at yoga, and you can see from the tape that I have that I'm not good at yoga, but I still do it, and I do it 4 times a week because it's just very refreshing, and it actually keeps my posture straight, and also keeps me nice and flexible so I can get out of the car without a problem. I can move without a problem. I'm almost 60 years old, but I don't have I'm not slowing down at all, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that I stretch. You don't have to only do yoga, there's other ways you can stretch, but I would suggest there's 2 main types of stretching. And there's ballistic stretching, or what I would call dynamic stretching, which is where you're moving when you stretch. So you can see that right here. And then there is static stretching, which is more like this. This is where you're not bouncing around, but you're really just stretching the muscle. You can see it here. Okay, so what I would recommend is not doing a lot of static stretching before your exercise, because your muscles might be tight, especially in the morning. So that's why I would recommend the ballistic type of stretching. So you're moving around more, you're getting the muscles warm, you're bouncing them around, and that's going to get you more ready to take off and start to do your activity. And then when you're done with your activity, your muscles are going to start to tighten. So that's when you should start doing static stretching, and that's when you really just stretch the muscles out again at the end so that they don't tighten up on you. And if you do that, if you do ballistic in the beginning, you probably won't get injured when you're doing your activity, and when you're doing the stretching afterwards, you're just going to feel fantastic and your muscles aren't going to tighten up on you, and you're just going to feel great. So those are the 3 macro exercises. Okay, so what I do for my routine for a week, just so you have an idea how it can all work, I do weightlifting 4 times a week, and I'll skip. So I'll do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I'll do Sunday. But then I start on Monday again. So there is a time when there's actually 2 days in a row when I'll do lifting. And right now I'm doing Lift 4 by Body Beach or beachbody.com. There's other ways you can do it. I mean, you can go to a functional fitness gym, or a gym that has classes on lifting. You can go to a CrossFit gym. And what they'll do is they'll break it up so that you're not working the same body parts every day. So what I'm doing is basically right now is I'm doing chest and triceps on Monday. Wednesday I'm doing back and biceps, and then on Friday I'm doing shoulders, and then I am doing legs on Sunday. So, and in between those days, so on Tuesday, I gotta think about this, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I will run. That's when I go out and do my running. Sometimes I'll change it up in my leg workout. Instead of doing weights, I'll run on that day. So sometimes I'll run 4 days, but most of the time I'm working out with weights 4 days out of the week. And in between, I'm running 3 times. I only run like 3 miles. You don't have to go out and run a marathon. 3 miles is perfectly fine to get the body moving and get the cardio going. I have a hard time keeping weight on, so I don't want to do too much cardio. But if you have a hard time keeping weight off, you might want to do a little bit more cardio, because that would help. The resistance training is also going to help get fat off your body, because your muscles are going to as you build your muscles, that'll burn more fat. So just let you know that both of those exercises are going to work on keeping you at the right body weight, or good, healthy, athletic body weight, which is what we should all want. And then on stretching, I do yoga 4 times a week, and then I try to do a little bit of stretching, dynamic and ballistic stretching before and after I run on those days. So I do the yoga right after I do my weightlifting, and then after I run, before and after I run, I'll do a little bit of ballistic stretching and a little bit of static stretching before and after I run. So that's my routine. Those are the 3 basic macro exercises that I believe everyone should do every week. And if you could do that, you'll be young and healthy and strong your whole life. And it beats being old, decrepit, tired, and weak and in pain. I mean, all this is just going to make you feel great after you get done. It hurts. I'm not going to lie. It does hurt while you're doing it, but when you're done with it, you're going to feel fantastic. So it's definitely worth the time. And again, I would only spend like maybe 40 minutes, around 40 minutes to an hour on the lifting with the yoga to combine. So it doesn't have to be a lot. Yoga, I only do about 10 minutes. So my weightlifting is typically around 40 minutes or so. So typically less than an hour to knock out those 2. And then run, I do 3 miles, about a 10-minute pace. Everyone has different paces, but for me, it's about 30 minutes. So again, it doesn't take up a ton of time, and most of us probably spend a lot more time watching TV than that little bit of time, and we're better off if we watched a little less TV and we actually did that workout. So we probably can all get that workout in, and I would recommend everyone doing it. So that means basically, you heard me right about this, it means working out every day. It is very important to work out every day, and I know a lot of people get into this thing where they work out twice a week. It's really not going to cut it. You got to work out every day, and you got to really mix it up, but it doesn't have to be hours in the gym. Just get it done quick, get it done, and move on. Anyway, thank you so much, and what I would love to hear is if you have any comments or any suggestions on what you do for a workout. It'd be great to hear what you guys do for a workout, what you suggest, what you like best. Put them in the comments below. It'd be fantastic to see that. I think we're all learning here. And it's always great to share what we all do. There's not one way to do everything, so it's great to hear what other people are doing. So until next time, thanks. If you like this video, please click on the thumbs up button. And also, please subscribe and click on the notification button to get all this great content that's coming up every week. Thank you.